Welcome back to We Are Live. It's Chris Denman live in studio with Tommy the intern. We've got Travis Terrell in New York, Chris Gardner's the producer, and we're joined by a sunglassed gentleman, Jeff Jones of Scoops with Danny Mac.
Oh, Jeff, you're red.
Hi, Trav. Yeah, I'm a little. So this actually, I don't think most of this is from yesterday. I think most of this was from what the hell day was Game 6? Sunday? It was Sunday. I think most of this was from Sunday because we went out to start tailgating at about noon.
Oh.
We were there, through the game with the watch party and the whatnot. That game did not go great. Wednesday did go pretty well, and so as a result, then I was at OB Clark's in a parking lot yesterday for something like 5 hours.
What was it all about, Jeff? I saw a bunch of the St. Louis
Blues
players there with the Stanley Cup. I didn't get a chance to obviously physically witness that. So what was taking place?
People were throwing beer at each other. Yeah, that was taking place. I took that photograph.
Oh, did you really?
I think I did, or it's very similar to one that I took. If that's from the Game Time account, that's one that I took.
Are these
yeah.
Are these famous people?
Those are famous people. The gentleman with his chest being scratched is Pat Maroon.
Okay.
Oakville's own.
Oakville's own. I don't recognize the gentleman doing the scratching. Hold on, I have to take my sunglasses off so I can look at these a little better. I don't see anybody else who's famous in that picture in particular.
They're all living like Hugh Hefner right now, aren't they?
Yes, but like the Hugh Hefner of like 1944 who was ambulatory.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why was this location the spot, Jeff?
So OB's, I guess, has sort of always been like the gathery hangout, right? Because it's right down the road from the Brentwood rink, and so when they used to have practice there, they would go to OB's afterward because it was the closest bar to the rink, I guess. I mean, maybe there are other reasons, but it is the closest bar to Brentwood, and it's always just been their place since.
I had I always knew it was a hockey bar, but then I had the pleasure of hanging out with a lot of those alumni and some of the people after the roast of Darren Pang. That OB Clark's, if those walls could talk.
It's also it's also real central because like a lot of those guys live in Clayton, so it's a very short little jaunt right back home / to work,
Mm-hmm.
Or if you live like in like Ladue Huntley Central Corridor, also not very far.
All right, let's ask the real questions, Jeff. Will that Stanley Cup make it to North City?
Well,
Crown
the parade,
Candy, maybe.
The parade starts at 18th and Market. That's north.
That's South City.
Tilania's.
Gardner just pulled up the photo of
Tilania's is south of 40.
Yeah.
It'll make it north of 40 for sure.
Hey, Denman, would you like to explain what's happening right outside this picture?
Oh, no, we're good
Okay.
on that. I think we covered that the other day.
Travis landed at the airport.
Yeah,
That's in
North
North County.
Oh, that counts. So I guess it was kind of in Ferguson.
Yeah, it definitely was there somewhere. I bet Charles Glenn takes it like to Ferguson. That's my guess because he lived there for a while, went to high school there. I don't know. I forget exactly which high school he went to. I'm not going to say the wrong one, but I know he grew up in or around Ferguson and went to school there. So I'm going to guess Charles is the guy who takes it.
Charles Glenn's his final year. I mean, we keep talking about all these Hollywood ending type of things. Like I keep going back to him. How
That's pretty huge.
It's just such a unique thing, and then he's such a seemingly gracious, amazing person. I mean, what's that mean to you? Do you know Charles well?
I mean, I don't know him well. I know him well enough to say hello and shake hands.
Sure.
And yeah, for a guy who has been doing it for 19 years, I can sort of understand, when he's dealing with the health stuff he's dealing with,
right,
to be at the point in the season where everything was sort of trending bad. I think it was probably a little easier than usual to say, maybe this isn't worth it anymore, even setting aside whether or not, how his health in particular was doing at that moment. I think that when you're in the middle of a tough season, it's a little bit easier to sort of see the end of it coming, and so for it to end for him this way is pretty tremendous.
Jeff, I obviously haven't talked to you since the Blues hoisted the cup.
Hoisted is good.
Considering we know the story as far as where the Blues were in January, but at what point in this series did you think, okay, this Blues team can actually win it?
I mean, I thought they could win it for most of the series. I thought after Game 5, that was definitely going to be the dagger. I was a little surprised by what happened in Game 6, and I definitely, I lagged in confidence for sure heading into Game 7. But after Game 5 was the point where I was like, this really is going to and I really did think that Sunday was going to be a big coronation day. that turned out the way that it did, and that you ended up with a full 7-game series probably ends up being a little bit of a blessing, right? Because now you get the parade on the weekend, and more people can come enjoy it, and you have this another full week of it. If you're the Cardinals, it's a blessing because it's another 6 days where no one is paying attention to you. So there's a lot of positives in general that come out of the slight delay in the 7 games.
I remember there was 12:52 on the clock in the third period when it was, to me, it was just, oh my God. I wanted to make note of the time, and it was right after that, a minute and a half after that is when Bennington made that pad save.
The pad save on Nordstrom, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that probably would have been the moment if I wasn't feeling it already, but it was right around that time.
Yeah, I think the precise 100% there's no coming back from it moment was when Braden Shen scored to make it 3-0 in the third.
Right.
That was the proverbial dagger, I think, right? The moment where it was like, oh, this is really here. Like this has arrived, and it did.
Because
I definitely said something about that too. I made fun of the 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey because I always just think that's. And again, you may have stats to back that up.
I mean,
the 2-goal lead thing just always floors me because I'm like, I think I'd rather have 2 goals than 1.
Yeah, it's definitely right. It's definitely a selective memory sort of thing. But there is something to the difference certainly in a 2-goal lead and a 3-goal lead in terms of in terms of
severity,
and the amount of push that you need, because a 3-goal lead it's just insurmountable, and especially given the way that Bennington was playing in Game 7, the idea that the Bruins were going to score 4 goals in 8 minutes just wasn't going to happen.
Is Game Time putting out a issue?
There's going to be a commemorative issue, but not a parade issue. The logistics of getting vendors together and also trying to write something and print something, and also, frankly, that not being able to enjoy the parade was going to be a little overwhelming. So there will be a commemorative edition, but not a parade edition.
Gotcha.
So Game Time, you can find them online. They're everywhere. They've been covering it. Has this been the stupid question, obvious question? Has this been the most fun you've ever had covering the sport of hockey?
Yeah, it's been. Yes, it has been. It's also just been the absolute most hectic because the uncertainty of one day to the next, of not knowing when the next game was going to be, and then there's a win, and so they keep playing, and then we did a Game 7 edition when we weren't planning to do one. We just sort of threw it together last minute, and it just so many things all happening at once, and I'm balancing this with the baseball season as well. Like it has been a very hectic 8 weeks or so.
What was your initial reaction when they actually did win?
That's a good question.
Good job, Tommy.
Thank you. I'm trying new things.
You learning from Travis.
Is that what you want to talk about after the show?
Trying new things?
Kinda, yeah. We'll talk after the show.
Oh, thank you. Okay, continue.
I was with friends at Enterprise watching the game, and I think there were just a lot of high-fiving and hugging. The one thing that I did choose not to do, and it's a totally natural reaction, and I get why people do it, but everyone around me had their phones out, and I sort of, in the moment, I was like, I'm just going to watch this and just do it, because if I want videos of this later, other people will have them. It will not be hard to find videos of this, and there's not a reason why my video is different than somebody who was literally right next to me, right? Whatever, those will be fine.
You could find a video with you in it.
Yeah, I probably could. In fact, I saw some yesterday on some Instagram stories shot from the balcony at Obie Clark's that had me in them from the ground. But it was like
Jeff, who gets? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm curious. Who do you think out of this is the first Stanley Cup in franchise history?
Right.
Who on this team deserves or gets the statue outside of Enterprise?
I don't. That's sort of the tricky thing about this team, and that was the tricky thing when they came to the Conn Smythe voting. Ryan O'Reilly wins the Conn Smythe for MVP in the playoffs after and he told us after told the media after the series that he had fractured a rib in the Dallas series and was playing through that for Dallas and San Jose. O'Reilly was not really great for a round and a half of these playoffs, but ends up winning the MVP anyway because he was the guy who was the best guy in the final. I think when it's all said and done, I think the answer, in fact, I know this is the answer. The answer is Bob Plager. The answer is going to be Bob Plager holding up the Stanley Cup, probably. That would be the one that they will end up building. Because I don't, is it possible that Alex Pietrangelo plays 10 more seasons here and builds some sort of insane career? Sure. Is it possible that Colton Parayko finishes another 15 years here and ends up with some Hall of Fame? Yeah, right. Very, very possible. Tarasenko, very possible. But none of these guys really necessarily rise to that. And so I think that, if you're looking to encapsulate it, that would be the way to do it.
Nice.
What about
Tom Stillman, happiest man in the world today? Or shoot, this week?
Happiest man in the world for a while, I would imagine. Yeah, the videos of him in particular drinking out of the cup in the locker room, I think, were maybe the best that came out of there on Wednesday night.
I think this one could be.
How cool is that, Jeff? I mean, I don't want to go too far back in time, but there was a point where it felt like no one really wanted to own this team.
Yeah.
Tom Stillman stepped up, and of course, we all know the story after Kroenke left and how he and, of course, the DeWitt ownership became close, and Stillman became kind of an ambassador that we usually don't see from team owners. Like, he was out in front of Bush shaking hands, and
yeah, I mean, and
he's a guy that's among the people. What does this mean for his legacy now in this city?
Well, I mean, it definitely is important, or I should say, was important then, continues to be important now, for there to be, I think, a united front in the ownership in St. Louis, and in terms of the way that they promote sports around here. I think also there is, I mean, frankly, there's a lot of overlap in the membership of those groups, right? Like, not the headliners, but they're definitely, they're, you know, the smaller, or the less substantial investors are definitely overlapping between those things. That includes the MLS group as well. So there's a lot of shared excitement there. But yeah, I think that, you know, to showcase that sort of connected front is really important, and I think is a sort of demonstration of the kind of sports city that St. Louis has a reputation for being, and that we should want it to have a reputation for being.
Jeff, you look good.
Thanks, Trav.
You really do.
I decided to go with the Team North America Colton Parayko jersey this morning.
Oh, is that what that is?
It
Yeah,
is.
I didn't want to ask because I thought I thought I should know.
I'm going to
for some
scratch
reason.
my head because it's a little sunburned and it's pretty gross. But I'm going to go ahead and do
Flake
that
it
and
up.
Put the
That's
hat rack back on.
You got
there.
the hat though.
Yeah, I do. That's the in-arena edition of the hat. No, in honor of Colton Parayko being the guy who went the latest into the night last night, I decided to go with the World Cup of Hockey Team North America Colton Parayko jersey this morning.
Speaking of going the hardest.
Yeah.
Oh. Somebody score? Is that a goal horn? Oh. Travis is
It's one thing I've learned about this city, that they do not use their words, but they certainly use their horns.
So, speaking of going hard, I said, and we've been following along with a particular Blues alumni who's been having fun throughout. Brett Hull.
Yeah.
There's one
Oh,
photo. And there's another photo. When was that one from?
That was from, I believe, Game 4.
Okay.
I think maybe.
He was excited then. He saw what was potentially happening.
I mean that's so damn funny. I mean, again,
That's
Did he know the
hilarious.
camera was looking at him?
yeah, of course.
Well,
At
and
the heart of it,
also-
he's a brute athlete. Like that's what he is.
And that
Come
he
on.
chose to sit in that seat on the glass and
Yeah.
not like be up in the box with the rest of the alumni guys, I think also was pretty fun. There was a point yesterday where I was very concerned that maybe he passed out in the plane bathroom and no one had found him because he sort of hadn't resurfaced for a while. But he did last night, which I'm guessing Gardner is about to show you.
yes, I've been doing what I call hashtag wholeness checks for a while now.
Whole check, wholeness check.
Yeah.
Wholeness checks, I love it.
Yes, we got to do wholeness checks to make sure everything's okay with Brett.
It's been about 4 hashtags for it.
Well, it's called a thought shower, Tommy. We finally get to the one we want, and we try and make it work, and we shove it down
Wholeness
everyone's
check.
throat. Yes, wholeness check. So we thank Carly Lawrence, and I thank you, Jeff, for tweeting out the most recent photo because it had been a while since we had heard from Brett
Yeah.
or seen a picture of Brett. So this is
Oh my.
this is at OB's,
Don't
I
be-
suppose.
Don't be
Those are
blowing
big
him up,
glass.
man. Come on.
I saw this morning, and I was like, oh, he's still drunk.
I told someone this
Allegedly.
morning too, like, you know, Brett Hull in general is a pretty heavy-lidded individual. Like, he's got the heavy eyelids.
Yeah.
But his eyes did
Heavy-lidded.
not get much more
Heavy-lidded.
open than that in any photo or video that I saw of him there.
And I mean that one of him prior to the game getting the crowd going in Game 6, the
Yeah.
video with him, Plager, and Federico. It was just just when he was yelling the word blues.
The one that
I
came
didn't
out-
know if he knew where he was because right then I just said to myself, Well, no matter what happens tonight, he's not going to remember, I don't think. So it could be good or bad.
A really underrated part of that, by the way, was when he turned and said, "Bernie Federko, the best of all time,"
The greatest
which
of
was interesting because number one,
Yeah.
he was also there with Bob Plager, and I think maybe he forgot. Like in that moment, was
Oh.
just didn't have any idea.
I don't know if he knew where he
saw
was.
Bernie and was like, "That's Bernie."
I don't think he knew he was there. I don't
Yeah.
think he knew he was. But it was also too. It was at the end of that video. It's the faces you make when your time went on. Because I'm gonna look into the camera where he gave the little like side chin action. Like I nailed that one.
Right, like,
oh,
yeah.
I got that.
I'm
There's no
all
doubt
over
we're gonna
that
win
play.
now. I pumped him up, pumped everyone up. There could have been no one there, and he would have been doing the same thing.
I think the people I admired most yesterday who were at OBs were the people who were still wearing the same clothes they had worn at least from the previous night. Pat Maroon was definitely one. You showed the picture of Pat Maroon. But better than that, my favorite, and it was amazing that he was there. He's been in every picture I've seen. He's everywhere. Is Billy Huso, who has never actually played a game in the NHL. He sat on the bench for like 4 games. But he was there last night, and he still had his suit on. He had pulled a Stanley Cup Champions t-shirt over his button-up shirt, but it was on underneath his suit coat, and he had his hat on, and he was just a wreck. Like, just destroyed, wandering around the parking lot. At one point, he was the first guy to walk from the balcony at OB's down into the parking lot. And he walked down, and Sammy Blais was up on the balcony, and Huso was just standing in the parking lot screaming, "Blazer!" up at Sammy Blais, who I don't know didn't hear him or was choosing to ignore him because Sammy is just pounding beers and looking around.
Amazing.
As Billy Huso just stands in the crowd and screams up at the balcony.
I feel like we're doing a good job of celebrating as a city so far.
Well, and so this is like, I'm really excited about this because prior to last year, like, people partied, but it was like, Senator happened. It was kind of private, right? Like there was a thing when the Bruins won in 2011. They went to Vegas and they were at some club, and someone posted their receipt, and it got to Deadspin, I think, and they spent like $180,000 at a club in Vegas on booze in one night or something, and it was a whole like, oh my God, look at the Bruins thing, right? But last year, when the Capitals decided to just take to the streets and go ape shit, not only was it really good content, I think it also created this expectation for future teams because now
they're going to give it to their people. We got to
Stay
give
in
yours.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Stay in
now
your
that
own
you've-
city.
Yeah. Now that you've seen the Capitals do it, you can't like not do it. You can't like have
There's
them do
always
it
time for a
and then have
Vegas trip.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they will have and have had their private parties, right? That's why you go to OBs where there's a balcony where you can go outside and you can go inside the bar where it's controlled and you only have people that you want to have in there or whatever. Except for last night, I did see a video toward the end of the evening of people forming a human ladder to jump over the balcony into OB Clark to sneak in.
You got to be careful there.
Well,
it's an
yeah.
interesting stretch of road too.
And
so.
unfortunately, there was one, and she didn't fall backward off the balcony, but there was a girl who got to the rail and did not quite stick the landing. And there was a little ass over tea kettle onto the balcony, at least.
Let's go Blues. We agree. We agree.
That would be awesome. Travis,
Travis.
can you get them to do just one horn go, No, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Travis, I want you to do me a favor. Over the weekend, I want you to count how many horn honks you hear and let us know
God.
how many there are on Monday. Can you do that?
How many what?
Horn
said-
honks.
Horn honks.
Oh God, I jumped into my very first New York taxi cab yesterday.
Oh.
I've been doing the
How long
subway
have
and
you
the Uber
been there?
thing.
You got in one cab?
He walks around.
Well, I've been doing the Uber and subway thing, and
Oh.
so that's been pretty easy. But it was an emergency. I had to do some production assistant work, and so I had to jump into I had to get on the sidewalk, put the hand up, and hope the cab driver didn't treat me like I was Danny Glover,
Danny Glover, yeah.
and actually let me get in.
Travis, as a PA,
And so it was a lot of fun. I'm now officially sort of kind of a resident after doing that because they love honking their horn.
I thought you were already a resident.
Yeah, you guys have been mad at me about that lately. There's a lot of hate and anger
It's not
in the
hate
We
and
Are
anger.
Live page. So
Well,
I've decided to tone it down.
Travis, let me ask you, as a PA, which Muppet has the most demanding Starbucks order?
Great question.
Dr. Teeth.
I will not answer that, for I am contractually not obligated to.
Dr. Teeth.
Probably Dr. Teeth. I think
I think animals
Get that
been
off the
having
screen.
too much
Get it off.
caffeine for a while.
Delete it.
I think
Get it off.
Snuffy's hard because Snuffy can't really get his snout to drink the coffee.
Well,
so
Snuffy
he needs,
does
a weird
something
strain.
else to stay
Yeah,
going.
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Snuffy.
What's his name?
Snuffy's up partying with a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Speaking of party, here's a question for everyone, and you'll like this a little bit, I think, Travis. Gonna ask you who you want to party with because another team won a title last night. The Toronto Raptors. Those aren't current players.
Camby, Damon
No, they're not.
Stoudemire.
Marcus Camby hasn't stepped on a basketball court in at least a decade and a half.
I like those
Damon
jerseys.
Stoudemire has to be at least 20 years last
Yeah.
time he picked up a
I
basketball.
gotta say, the best thing about the Toronto Raptors is that I just
They're
assumed.
dinosaurs.
Well, yeah, I assumed for forever that I don't know there was some big fossil dig in
Yeah, that
Toronto,
would
or
make
that,
sense.
like that the owner was like a scientist. No, it was when the Raptors
Jurassic
came
Park.
out. Yes, they're like people like Jurassic Park. Let's be the Raptors.
Is that really what it
That's
is?
really
Yes.
it. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
They-
it most certainly is.
True.
It's the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Now the Ducks were one of those. The Raptors.
But that at least-
Anaheim
but that at
is
least
known
came-
for their ducks.
That at
though,
least
right?
came after
Huh?
a movie, and Disney owned the hockey team, so that was like synergistic.
That was just good
branding.
marketing.
Right.
The guy in Toronto is not like a Paramount producer.
He's like,
He's
hey.
just like, I like Jurassic
What about Golden
Park.
Knights,
That sold a
though?
lot of
The
toys.
They
Golden
should have-
Knights is just simply taking advantage of the Game of Thrones craze.
No. Golden Knights is because the Army would not give them the trademark to Black Knights. That's what happened there. The guy Bill Foley, who owns the Golden Knights, is he either went to West Point or was an Army guy or something, and he wanted them to be the Black Knights. They were going to be the Las Vegas Black Knights for forever.
After the
kinda cool.
Farmington High
Yes,
School Black
indeed.
Knights.
What if we get
Python,
a?
And the U.S. Army said, no, you can't have
What
it.
if we get like a MLB expansion team that in Portland, and they end up becoming the Portland Avengers? You
That's
down with
gonna be
that,
pretty good.
Travis?
Oh, I like that. I would wait. Is that the team name really?
No, I'm just saying. I like if people are going to strike on pop culture and movies and naming sports teams, what are we looking at in today's world, and what are we honestly looking
That's,
at in potential cities where expansion might occur?
That's a good question.
Well, so Seattle has the NHL franchise starting in 2 seasons, and they released their color scheme
Yeah.
a week or so ago, and they are definitely going to be the sockeye, because one of the colors is, I think they called it a light creamy red. It's salmon, like it's salmon colored, and they can't they wouldn't call
That's
it.
a good hockey
It's
name,
pink.
though.
They wouldn't, so they wouldn't call it salmon because they're going to be the Sockeyes, like 100%.
Seattle Sockeyes.
Yeah, it's pretty
when,
good.
when we
That's
get
a good
our,
hockey. Yeah, it's hockey.
Alliteration.
But yeah, and honestly, they're about the same colors as Tommy's shirt. It's salmon, like a teal blue, and then a white is sort of their color.
My question is, who are we partying with for the next 2 days? Brett Hull or Drake? Or Drake?
Not Drake.
specific. Like, of
I gotta
course
be
he's
honest.
front and center.
Who held
Drake
up?
seems like kind of a bummer.
Really?
Yeah, you've heard.
What
of
did you
him.
just say?
Oh, no.
It just seems like he might be kind of a bummer. He's probably like hanging out with me.
Apologize. Apologize.
No.
His feelings are hurt. Apologize.
Don't be disrespecting Drake. Drake literally brought. He found a way to get the NBA championship to Canada.
Okay, Travis, let me ask you this. When Kevin Durant walked off the court injured and Drake is like biting his knuckles, like he's acting, right? He was like, that was him doing his Degrassi.
I think someone asked me about that online, and I said I believe he sincerely was upset that Katie was hurt. I think Drake, being a performer, knows to exaggerate his thoughts and feelings and
He
expressions.
knows the
and he was
camera is
doing
finding
that there.
him immediately. Right, yeah.
Well, he knows the camera's going to be on. And look, I have a genuine relationship, so I don't think it was him, doing it to be an asshole. I think it was him genuinely upset. I think it came off as that because he's an exaggerated performer, and it's Drake, so he's not the world's most likable person. But to Tommy's point, Tommy, you're an idiot, and you should apologize to Drake.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
If Drake played 21 against the worst guy on the Raptors roster, how many points would that guy score before Drake got to 21?
See, Drake's so rich, he probably would pay his opponent to let him score 21.
What's the guy at the GM? Is it Masai Uriji? Am I close on that? What's the guy's name?
The president of operations?
Yeah, the guy with a Japanese name, whose name I never said out
Is
loud.
that the guy who got into a fight?
The guy who's Nigerian.
I thought he was
Not
Japanese.
Japanese.
He's really
Nigerian?
I honestly thought he was Japanese.
no.
It does have
Nobody feels worse about messing up
I
somebody's
honestly
name like
thought he
that
was-
than Jeff Jones.
I honestly thought he
It
was
does have a
Japanese.
just sound in it, so.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's got J's and I's.
Look
His
at
name was
that
like
face.
Masai.
Look at
Jeff
that face
Jones,
from Travis.
man.
Sorry, Trev. I
Oh,
thought he was
no.
Japanese.
Yo, fake woke ass. I knew your ass wasn't woke.
I don't watch basketball. I don't know anything about. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my jam. I thought he was Japanese. Today I learned.
Here's why I think it would be more fun to party with Brett Hull. Brett Hull, he's down to earth. He's gonna know all the cool spots in St. Louis. You know, Drake probably spends a lot of time in like L.A. and New York. He doesn't know like all the great spots where they're at. I'm not sure where, but he probably doesn't. You know, it just.
Who do you want to party with? Think about it. Who do you want to party with? Do you want to party with Brett Hull or Drake?
Drake.
Who's going to have the best party?
Drake seems like the type of guy that listens to his own music.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Save that for Monday where we get target practice. Maybe we'll add some.
Who's
some
going to
Drake
have
in
the
there.
better party, though, Tommy? Which party do you want to go to?
Brett Hull. I want to go to Hull's party.
From the comments, Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer, you think rappers don't have feelings? You think Drake's not a rapper? It hurts his feelings when you say he's not a rapper.
Yeah, all of his songs are about his feelings. That's why I think he's a bummer.
But you just told us yesterday you spent your senior skip day laying in a dark room listening to Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
That's
well,
Well,
completely
it's like a regular.
emo.
What's wrong with that? That's like a regular day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, Death Cab's coming in like a month. Are you excited?
I
Like 2
didn't know
weeks.
that, really.
Yeah, they're going to be at Stiefel, I think. in
Oh, I'm
July.
going to get tickets.
Yeah, you should
That's
go.
going to be great.
You and Jeff can go together. Quick reminder, fair or foul today, a Laura Branigan cover band, hashtag play Gloria. Email wall at weareliveradio.com, $10 to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill is your prize. Let's get some good ones in today for that.
While we're talking about Laura Branigan, here's a thing that I got to get off my chest.
Please.
I know where this is going.
I don't like that thing. I don't like.
Really?
So okay, the song is fine. Like that whole thing is cool.
I just got frustrated. NPR played it at the end of a segment as I was pulling up, and I was
Yeah.
like, now it's going to be in my head all day.
The thing is, the woman, the manager,
the manager
woman,
that runs her Twitter?
she to me does not necessarily seem like a person who was a manager so much as a person who was like the head of the fan club, and then the woman died, and then she bought all the rights to everything and was like, I'm the manager. That to me, I think, is the situation. Like, you know, the woman that murdered Selena,
Oh, no.
like that, like, and I'm not saying.
Hold on, I'll be back.
I'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And Laura Branigan died of natural causes. I'm just saying that woman was the same sort of thing, where that woman was like, oh no, I like Selena, I guess we're best friends. And I get a little bit of that vibe from this woman who runs the Laura Branigan thing, where she's like, oh, I liked her a lot, we're best friends. That's sort of like, that's the vibe I get, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Alright,
I
I'm
mean,
back.
there's been too many media people. Somebody would have sniffed this out.
Yeah,
No,
but here-
I
but-
don't know
but
that they
like-
would,
but here's the
because
thing.
that's not necessarily what someone's looking for right,
Right.
now.
And the coverage of it at first, when she was tweeting from the @Laura Branigan account, there were a lot of national media people, like people who were late to the story, who did not know that Laura Branigan was dead. It's @Laura Branigan,
Yeah.
and it's got a check mark, and it's just tweeting about things, and people are like, "Oh my God!" Like this woman that sings the song, to the extent that people.
Golick created what became Branigan's. I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Golick created this is from CamoX.com. Golick created what became Branigan's official website. That's not a good
that's
sign.
kinda
Right,
weird.
that
Which still
created
operates.
a fan website, and then it became LauraBranigan.com.
Which still operates and became Branigan's manager shortly thereafter. Okay, so you have a pop star from the 80s, and again, maybe she was still with it and everything, but
Yeah,
Jeff
she's
may
doing-
have it. All I'm saying is there's a picogram of knowledge here. That,
She's doing like county fairs, right? This woman's like, look,
like-
I made you a website, and
Right.
we're friends now, and let me book you on things, and then
no.
she's the manager.
Kathy, Other Half Entertainment. So let's do a quick research.
So I can tell you that Other Half Entertainment
Does
hosts.
she have any
an-
other clients?
No, does not have other clients.
That's like Robert Wagner becoming the manager for Natalie Wood.
No, because Robert Wagner, allegedly may have actually murdered Natalie Wood. I have
Oh.
no suspicion that this woman killed Laura Branigan. She like died of natural.
Okay,
like,
I
straight up- no,
misunderstood.
No. I'm just saying, in the Selena thing, the woman who ended up killing Selena was like a big fan who was like, I'm president
the
of your
president
fan
of
club,
fan, yeah.
and then stole a bunch of money and then shot her. This woman, I don't think stole money or shot anyone, but I think she was like, I'm your biggest fan. now I'm your manager. And Laura Branigan was like, okay, I don't really perform anymore. That's fine. And then she died, and now this woman just exists in the world.
Okay, so just to back this up a little bit, this from their website, what is Other Half Entertainment? Other Half Entertainment, the Laura Branigan Management and Production Company was formed in 2004. When did she pass away?
04.
As a partnership between Laura Branigan, Kathy Golick, and Vince Golick at the time the
Can't
company
have nice
was formed.
things, can we?
Kathy Golick was
The song is fine.
Kathy Golick was Ms. Brannigan's business manager and official site webmaster, and Vince was also Ms. Brannigan's webmaster. Okay, Ms. Brannigan left this is a weird thing to put on your website. Ms. Brannigan left a written directive that in the event of her death, she directed Kathy and Vince to continue the operation of Other Half Entertainment.
Right.
Kathy Golick
Nope,
served
not
as president.
shady at all.
Right. Because
Why do you put that on your front page of
And
your
Laura
site?
Branigan died suddenly and not from illness. She had a heart attack.
Oh, that's easy to
Oh,
say.
where's Keith
If they
Morrison?
show
Guys, this is
Give me
weird.
Keith Morrison!
Listen,
Yeah.
they seem like she's, I don't know.
Is that-
It was not a
Laura
glorious
Branigan died in her
ending.
sleep in New York on August 26, 2004. The cause was attributed to a previously undiagnosed ventricular brain aneurysm.
Oh.
It was reported in the media that she had been experiencing headaches for several weeks before her death, but did not seek medical attention.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. That's.
Is that from a Wikipedia page?
She-
though?
That is, yes, the cause of death is from Wikipedia.
She should have been taking
Okay.
aspirin to thin her blood.
So basically, it's a bit of a tribute thing. So
Yeah.
we'll end it with we think they have the best intentions.
And they have the Laura Branigan convention every year at the Hilton Garden Inn in Ronkonkoma.
Laura Branigan was calling Gloria, but should have been calling 911.
There it is.
All right.
It is Other Half Entertainment's, to Jeff's point, it is Other Half
You're welcome,
Entertainment's
Travis.
intent that through our partnership with Ms. Branigan's dedicated fan base
That was really
throughout the world, she and her many contributions to the entertainment industry, as well as the caring person that she was, will never be forgotten.
good. We got our own Bill Hader in this office.
Is she going to show up at the parade?
I'm sure. Yeah,
They flew this woman in.
yeah, she was at games. I'm sure she'll have a float.
Oh,
I,
should I confront her?
Yeah.
I have
Damn
my
it,
own-
Gardner, leave it be.
Yes.
Leave it be.
This is it.
Leave
This
it
is how
be.
I make it.
Get
I have
them
an
gone,
honest
Yeah.
question. So the song, it was playing all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Now I understand it's like a victory
Get
song,
Tim Gardner.
but did
Oh no, it's evil Travis. Oh, it's evil Gardner. Oh no, I can
Yes,
smell
God.
booze on evil Gardner's breath. He's drinking again.
I'm gonna wear a hoodie to the parade and just when I get near her, pull it off and just microphone right away, and just go right in.
Yes,
Well,
Gardner.
gotcha.
Climb the parade floats. Yes.
As you say, master.
Oh no.
Put a post-it note on her face. Yes.
Oh,
Oh, not the Post-it note.
we're going there. Oh, little gotcha journalism, some post-it notes. Jeff. You made a convincing argument.
Damn it, Jeff.
I'm not even making an argument.
I'm still trying to figure out
just
if Jeff's going to travel with the team to cover them when they go to the White House.
He'll be a Barstool
not gonna-
correspondent.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that trip, as it turns out.
Jeff,
You love
why-
DC,
why won't
though.
you be
I
able to
do.
go to the White House?
I thought briefly yesterday, is there anyone on the team who would skip the White House visit? And the answer is definitely not. No chance.
No chance.
Which, I mean,
All
fine.
right, you've already
Fine.
crushed our
So-
joy enough.
But no,
So maybe
they're
Charles
all
Lynn-
going.
maybe
Yeah,
Charles
Ryan
Lynn
Reeves
may
is
be
gone,
first to
so.
go.
Yeah, they're all like, I'm running down the list in my head. Unless somebody pops out of the woodwork that we previously didn't know anything, they're all going. Every last
I
one.
at least asked them to tear the shit out of that place then while
I
they're
mean,
there.
sure, that would be fine, but
Tommy has a question.
Yeah. So Gloria was playing all day yesterday. Was that like necessary? Because I was like
It's a
driving.
bit.
I was driving with my mom, and we were like trying to listen to the radio because Gardner broke my aux cord thing.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
Like it was just on every station.
yeah.
We couldn't escape it.
Well, you should probably have tried a station that wasn't Y98 because it was on there.
Well, I did.
Okay.
They were playing it on 105.7.
Well,
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is that the same? I don't know how that works. Are they both intercom?
They are not.
Okay. I don't know anything about
105.7 is Hubbard.
I guess I should know that, but I don't.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
It
don't
just
care about it.
it
so I don't
seemed
know
it
about
seemed
it.
weird. I mostly just wanted to mention that Gardner broke my aux cord. All right.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Travis. You missed that from the other day. I think he might be frozen. I can't
Screenshot.
tell.
He
Yeah, I
looks
want to get the
frozen. Looks like Brett
screenshot
Hull.
if he's frozen.
Nope, there
I
he goes.
missed it. Damn it.
I took Gardner out to lunch the other day.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, and I was letting him charge his phone in my car, and then before we got out, he didn't unplug his phone. He just yanked it, and my entire thing fell out.
I apologize, Travis. I apologize.
Did you let him smoke in your car?
No.
I didn't. Well, Tommy's got conditions that I wouldn't do that to
Oh,
him.
fair,
I wouldn't
okay.
even.
You
ask.
could have asked, and I would have.
I
As
wouldn't
long
have
as you do it
asked.
with the window down, I like
No,
you. You're nice.
I wouldn't even do that. I would not do that.
But he did break my car.
But I did break
Well-
that little console area. But here's the thing, and Travis, you need to touch or opine on this because he
Isn't
said,
it-
"Oh, it's okay." I asked him like, "Hey, do you need me to help fix this? I'll help you fix it. We'll go to Home Depot, whatever you need. I will help you fix this." He's like, "No, it's all right. The only thing it's gonna keep me from doing is watching Netflix while I drive now."
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, "Wait, what?"
He,
Oh, no.
See, he doesn't think that there's a problem with this.
No, I think it's probably good that Gardner broke your car.
I do too. I
I'm
do
not.
too.
Now I'm
Thank
not
you,
saying.
Jeff.
I'm not saying I haven't done it.
I got one of those.
Netflix?
So not for city
Hulu.
driving.
I do it.
Netflix?
Oh,
So
You're on the highway.
just look at Travis'
You
face.
watch
I
a
have
whole
here's the
TV
thing.
show while you driving, bro?
not a TV show, but I have been known to put on the occasional stand-up special if I'm like out on a
Yeah,
highway.
yeah.
Okay, that's different because you don't need to see it, but I know
I
you
have
guys are
audiobooks
watching
and
it.
stuff.
Well, I mean, it's sitting there, so I might glance.
I listen to audiobooks and I listen to Harmontown and stuff, but like I have this thing here. Why don't I use it? I have a 40-minute drive.
Because you'll die.
I almost got in 2 accidents this morning. Now
Oh.
that is only because of my brakes. All right. See,
gonna
I'm
go
not
off
a
on
bad
this.
driver.
You're right, Garden. I'm glad you brought it up. That's the dumbest shit you'd have never done since you started this show.
Hey,
Like
by
this
the-
morning, I watched part of Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh.
Yeah,
was great.
No, yeah, that I can't. I'm
No.
not watching plot-based.
I
Why
looked
drama.
does the show matter?
Gravity Falls. I watch Gravity Falls some mornings. Just quick little cartoons.
By the way, briefly, as he's talking about audiobooks and podcasts and whatever, totally related to nothing, but I recently listened to the whole first season of Serial for the first time. Like, I
Oh,
missed
that's
it.
a good show.
Yeah, let me tell you, that guy was absolutely guilty. Like, what
Yeah,
the
no,
fuck?
yeah, for sure.
That show should be called "A Woman from NPR Gets Gaslit by a Guy from
Yeah.
Maryland." Like, what the hell?
Adnan Syed. That's his
yeah,
name,
like
right?
I
Yeah.
listened to that entire. I listened to the maybe if you listened to it as it was released and you did an
I did.
episode a week,
Yeah.
you would have like a week at a time. Like, oh, that was weird.
Right.
I listen to it. I listened to the whole thing in like 8 hours. It was like, this guy fucking killed this girl.
Yeah,
Like,
it was-
killed her. Like, absolutely killed her.
I binge listened, and yeah, he.
Like she went to him with like, hey, so all this evidence says that you're lying about stuff, and he was like,
No.
I don't know. Like that's not convinced, not remotely. No.
Did
that
you
guy-
see
that guy
the
killed her?
documentary that's out now about that?
No, because I read that it was like the sister, who, like the Rabia woman who started the whole thing, the sister of the friend from the mosque or whatever, and the whole thing was like, what if other people did it? And I don't really have an interest in watching the
Oh,
like
yeah.
weird.
Did we just gloss over the fact that Jeff and Tommy watch Netflix while they drive, and we're
Yeah.
just gonna leave
No,
it?
no,
at
no,
No
that?
one glossed. I said they're going to
Tommy-
die.
Yeah.
Tommy watches episodic drama. Jeff will occasionally turn on a stand-up
I
special
listen
and glance
to-
over at Dave Chappelle smoking a cigarette.
I've listened to Kid Gorgeous quite a
Smokes
few
great
times
cigarette,
driving.
doesn't he?
I've listened to Kid Gorgeous.
But listen is one thing.
Jim
We know
Gaffigan.
you don't listen, though. You watch it.
I've been in a car with Tommy twice now, Travis. He just claimed he wasn't a bad driver. He
Okay,
told me
okay,
in his
all right.
car the
It's
other
like a
day
thing.
he is a bad driver because he was driving down the middle of 2 lanes, and he's like, which way do I go? And I didn't know what to say because I didn't even know where he was trying to go. And he said he's often a distracted driver.
I got like
And I
ADHD,
said-
so I need something there.
Well,
Tommy,
I
Road.
need something.
Tommy,
Road is
look here, man. That's fine if you want to watch TV, but can you like just jump off a bridge in the process and leave the rest of us alone?
I'll just watch
Because
Community while I'm falling.
if you just gonna be out there like a drunk driver, why don't you just go ahead and kill yourself and everybody else at risk?
ooh.
Write it down
Whoa,
where
boy.
Travis at 9:42. While I agree with Travis,
Right.
Travis did offer for. He suggested you kill yourself. I just
Travis
want that in the
tells
notes.
Tommy to
It's
kill,
a
kill
suggestion.
himself.
I'm not saying go do it because that would be rude.
Right.
But-
Thank you.
That would be rude.
That would be. Yeah.
But I'm about civility here.
Uh-huh.
And I just think that if you just have such a disregard for life, how about you take yourself off the donor list,
Yeah.
find the highest building in St. Louis,
Mm.
and then just go ahead and save us all
Wait,
the
'cause
time.
then I
and
might make
energy so you won't
property
put
damage.
everybody
Why?
else at
Why?
risk.
Why
Yeah.
would you? Why would he take himself off the donor list?
Yeah, well, because once I hit the ground, everything's gonna be broken.
No,
anyway.
there's still stuff they can use in there.
Yeah.
They can scoop, like your retinas, for example, are
Oh,
still
okay.
pretty useful.
I learned something about Jeff. We both still play Pokemon, so
That's
I'm
true.
not the only one, guys.
Yeah, but you played during the show
Yeah.
That's also
and while
true.
you're driving.
No. Okay.
And that's also true.
But everybody does that.
Yeah.
How about
the
Jamie
easiest way to
Moyer's
have sex.
Fancy Foyer? Tommy watches Kid Gorgeous. Obviously, he's the Goodwill John Mulaney. You would love that, wouldn't you? You'll take that moniker.
Has he seen me perform? Because for like the first 6 months, he was kind of right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Is
Travis.
anybody sending me, by the way, St. Louis Blues gear?
No, because
Yeah, fanatics.com.
Yeah.
No.
Get online.
No, we're not sending you Blues gear because the other night you were like, people can't get excited about us winning. It's silly.
Oh, it's like
Remember
Travis
Mr.
is
Wet
sitting-
Blanket?
Good
Travis is
impersonation.
sitting
That sounded just like me.
Remember that, Mr. Wet Blanket? Where you and Gardner had an
I
argument
did.
about that?
I did because I'm looking forward to the Stanley Cup reducing murders in St. Louis now that we have.
No
a
one has said
championship.
that's going to happen.
Have you not seen all the great stories about how nobody's gotten arrested in St. Louis yet?
I think
Yes,
one
lot
please
of
tell
those.
me more
I think one
about
person
not
got arrested.
rioting.
So one
when
guy.
excessive drinking while driving is taking place.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
One guy got arrested, but it turns out that he had jumped the fence at Busch to get into the watch party, and so
Oh.
that was what that was about. The guy who was
Yeah.
like, "What are they trespassing? Are they trespassing?" Yeah, buddy, you jumped the fence. You're trespassing.
Goodness.
That's-
Hey, we talked briefly about the Raptors and whatnot. Toronto Raptors, congratulations! It's pretty amazing. It's a crazy feat. But I did want to talk about this. Klay Thompson, second Golden State star in as many days or as many games to suffer a year-long injury.
Yeah, I did read a thing this
I
morning.
I
that
thought it was
like-
I thought it was a misprint.
Yeah, no, he tore his ACL.
And Kevin Durant tore
His Achilles, yeah.
Achilles.
I read a
yeah.
thing that, well, now I guess they're both going to be free agents at the end of the year, but the
Oh, my
expectation was
God.
that Clay was going to be back. But,
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I think I read a thing this morning that was like, hey, by the way, the Warriors are pretty old and don't have any money against salary cap.
Well, that's insane, though. Two of the NBA's best players suffer what used to
Yep.
be career-ending injuries. Now you have a pretty good chance of coming back
Yeah,
normal.
you know what? I didn't want to watch it all of the slow motion 4K video of Kevin Durant's Achilles snapping.
Who watches these?
Who is that for?
Travis,
Ugh.
do you watch these? I don't watch injury videos.
People
I
on the
can't
dark
watch
web.
gruesome injuries. No, yeah, I
No.
can't. I don't know. I'm with you on that one, Jeff. I don't understand the necessity of
Yeah,
showing that.
no.
I guess because
I guess it was-
because they have the
watched-
technology.
That was one of the
that's why they do
broadcast
it,
angles
but I
too.
don't-
Like, don't show it. No one wants to see that. Stop.
Insane.
I will say though, I think if you look at both of those injuries, those were two guys who were already playing hurt. Clay probably was playing on a bad hamstring. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that contributed to the MCL strain or MCL tear, but I would imagine that played a factor in it. And the same goes for Kevin Durant. No way was he close to being 60, 70%
Yeah.
on that leg.
You gotta
And
love, by the way,
I think
whoever in the
most
Warriors.
physicians will tell you the calf injury probably contributed to him screwing up his ACL, screwing up his Achilles.
Yeah, you gotta love whoever with the Warriors knifed him and went to the media to anonymously say that they were surprised Kevin Durant wasn't back yet and he's got to suck it up, and then he blows out his Achilles in the next game.
That's
Let's go Blues.
5.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
5.
Almost a Let's Go Blues.
Yeah.
I watched the Kevin Durant video,
Ugh.
and I think
You
that
seem like the type
You're a
that
dark
would.
soul, though.
well, no, I think that I can pretty much watch anything now after I have seen the Kevin Ware injury video from
Yep,
Louisville.
Never watched that. Thank you.
Once that hit my eyes, you become desensitized to other injuries, I think, because that is the most gruesome thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Boy, you
terms
need
of
to
a sports
spend
injury.
more
that
time on
honestly
my
gave me
website.
shivers, like, right
Well,
in your city.
I said
can't
sports
even-
injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so with that one, like a knee or an Achilles, like yeah, you can tell it hurts and it's unfortunate, but it just isn't that other one now.
Yeah,
so.
it gives you like sympathy, like shake. Ugh, no.
No, and I know, and like it's unfortunate because I believe it has desensitized, and you don't necessarily want that because
Not at all.
You question like, hey, how should I be just okay with watching this? I
Why
probably
don't-
shouldn't be.
Why don't I care?
Yes, and then you go down
No,
another
I
deep
think that
tunnel.
I came against those replays way back when, old Busch Stadium days. I think the Expos were playing the Cardinals, and that's when
Moises Alou.
Moises Alou
Yeah.
twisted his ankle. And from that day forth, I decided I will never, ever, ever
Yeah.
again watch a player get injured on replay. Now, I did catch the Gordon Hayward and Sean Livingston injuries, but I caught those live.
Yeah.
And those are two of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen in my entire life.
I
Never
watched
again.
Jason Kettle almost get his foot snapped off. That was not good.
no.
The
that
first
was
base
bad.
one. Yeah. And
You guys
then
ever-
the
you guys-
the Alou one was, I mean, his foot was backwards.
Yep.
And
Ooh.
Luis
Bad.
It was literally
Alicea,
backwards. It was
Ooh.
gross.
Luis Alicea was playing second base, and I still remember this. Came running over, and as he realized what had happened, took his hand and his glove and just put it over his face because he didn't want to look. So I mean, I distinctly remember that Moises Alou one.
I saw a guy's kneecap dislocate in a baseball game. It was a high school baseball game. I remember seeing that. And then I personally have like horrifically rolled my ankle around. So if you feel it and you look down at it and you have a softball hanging off your ankle and really quick, like that's nothing compared to some of this stuff. So I don't even want to have anything to do with
Yeah, that makes
viewing
sense.
others.
I understand.
Quick question. So we got Jeff Jones in. Jeff, you had a unique experience that we got to talk about whenever the Bruins decided to partner with your friends at Barstool Sports.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which turned into you going on Barstool Radio, a lot of online trollery, a lot of nastiness,
Yeah.
and then you went on WEEI in Boston.
I did. I went on their morning
Their big
show.
one. So I guess just break it down for us, and then I know Tommy will probably have some questions. Travis, you're a huge Barstool guy. You can get in on this. We don't necessarily have to make it burn it down. I kind of want to know what it was like to just deal with that.
I mean,
and
it wasn't like
how you felt.
Yeah, so to me, it wasn't that big a deal. I only had like a dozen people tell me to kill myself because I'm not a woman.
Good.
So that was
Oh,
fine.
see, I only had one.
Yeah, so that was not a
So
big
Jeff
deal.
wrote an article.
Yeah, I read. So the Bruins put the Barstool logo on their rally towel for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, and then did not win another home game. Ain't that a shame? I wrote a blog post that I think was titled "The Bruins Should Be Ashamed by Their Partnership with Barstool" or something to that effect. It got into the bloodstream, and I had a never-ending stream of Boston frat bros just piling on but only for like 48 hours because again they got bored because again not a woman, so they got over it really quick and they've all kind of gone away at this point.
There you go. What was it like going on?
I'm glad you stood up for yourself, Jeff. I'm glad you did.
Well, it wasn't even
I
like
have
standing
an
up for
issue with
myself. It
Portnoy
was just
for
like
several reasons. I think Portnoy's an ass, and I'm glad you stood up for yourself. And if you ever need some of the bros from North City to roll up on Portnoy and his frat boys at Barstool, I will put out the word. I mean, I physically won't.
Well, it's like
He's
works.
got
Fact-
connections.
to me,
Thank
the
you.
most telling part of this is, you know, I this woman named Marissa Angemi who covers the Bruins for the Boston Herald. We are not friends, but we have mutual friends. Like I know of her, and you know everybody speaks very highly of her. She's a good reporter, so on and so forth. When this thing happened, she tweeted checking with the Bruins for comment, and then tweeted the Bruins no comment. And that was it. Like she didn't make a value judgment. She didn't write about it. She tweeted, "I'm asking," and then the Bruins said no comment. And she got inundated for 2 weeks, and is still getting it every day. Barstool people telling her like just disparaging her appearance and her work, and you know encouraging her to jump off various bridges into various rivers. I got it for 48 hours, and I wrote a blog post that said that the Bruins have chosen which fans they want and which fans they don't want, and this is a horrible partnership, and blah blah blah. And I went on their radio show, and they went away because I am not a woman, and Marissa is one, so she just has to deal with it, and it's bullshit, and that's why I wrote it because I had this conversation with a friend of mine like. I'm not afraid of these people. Like, I have no reason to be afraid of Barstool people. What the hell do I care? And so, for people who don't necessarily have, right? Like no one is in my DMs telling me they're going to show up to my house to rape me. So I'm not that worried about talking about it. If people are doing that to people, then I understand why they do have concerns about like their actual physical safety. So like if those people don't have the ability or whatever the inclination to use their platform, I will and do.
There it is. Any questions?
How
Tommy?
quickly after you posted that blog post were you hit with
Oh,
comments and
it
stuff?
took a couple of hours because I think I put it up at like 10 in the morning. And by noon, it was pretty much like a constant way. Like, there were a couple immediately that were like, don't be so sensitive, lighten up. But then, like, what they're real big on is what they call the snitch tag, where they will hop into your mentions and be like, at Barstool Sports, at Stool Presidente. Like the
Oh, they love
everything.
that.
They're
Oh, they love
big.
that.
They like
Oh,
tattling,
love-
yeah.
boy, do they love the tattle.
Oh, they love that because they can't articulate the words themselves.
Right.
So they have to run and go to one of their mediocre white bros. And
Right.
be like,
They're
"Yo,
big.
dog,
They know
look,
that
they're
they know
saying
that
something
Big
that's
Red
different from
Daddy
you."
will come to save them, and so he
Right.
does. And it was exactly what I thought. Right. They tweeted at me like, "Oh, I wonder if you'll be too chicken shit to come on the radio." And I was like, "Nope, anytime. Give me a call. I'm available now." And hopped on their radio show, and the guy just yelled for like 10 minutes. Like, "I don't even know how there's a woman sitting here," and I'm like, "Cool, that has nothing to do with what I wrote." Like, just he just yelled, and I was like, "Are you done? Like, what are you doing here, Dave?"
So you were aware of what could possibly happen?
I knew. I was aware of what could happen. I wasn't sure that it would be like a big enough thing for them to catch. But in retrospect, in retrospect, I fed their thing because the whole reason to do that is to bait people to say that they're bad, so that they can be like, everybody fucking hates Barstool, and then sell T-shirts off it. Right? Like that's their game. Like that's their whole business model. So feeding it, that part of it was not great. But I mean, whatever. Like, it's bad. People should say that things are bad.
At JM Jones on Twitter, don't say rude things whenever
I mean,
you're
you
tweeting,
can.
Jeff.
I'm very. The mute button is my friend. I just like the number of, especially this happens with Cardinal stuff. Weirdly enough, a lot. The number of comment threads underneath tweets about Cardinals news where it says like, "This tweet cannot be displayed. This week." Well, there's a lot of those now.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Go ahead.
Did you guys want the melee?
Yeah. What do we have?
All right. The question: when a hockey player wins the Stanley Cup, do they hoist, lift, or raise the trophy? Hoist, lift, or raise? 4% lift, 23% raise,
God.
73% hoist.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
Now, I know this bothers you, Tommy, and I can
It's
understand.
not what it means.
Okay.
But that's what it means in the the cup has
I
its
get
own
it.
verb.
I get it.
It
I
has
get
its
it.
own verb. It
Alright.
only means that in the context of the Stanley Cup.
So we need to add a definition then to the dictionary is what we're saying, Tommy.
Yes, add a secondary definition.
You hoist the chalice.
Yes, you can. Just add it in Webster. I'll send a DM to Webster.
Please
There it
do.
is. Yeah.
Please,
Make it happen.
actually, would you mind doing that?
I can. I'll do it now.
Is Emmanuel Lewis dead?
Ooh,
Gary Coleman's dead.
Good question.
I think Emmanuel Lewis is dead.
I
Trav,
think so.
what does Wikipedia say? Because he was Webster, right? I'm right about that.
Emmanuel Lewis. He is 48 years old and in Brooklyn, New
Yeah.
York.
Trav,
Go find him.
Born in Brooklyn.
look
Who is
down.
this?
Go, buddy.
Emmanuel Lewis.
Webster.
Man, I ain't about to go bother no Webster. Wait, where he live?
Well, he was
Brooklyn.
born in Brooklyn. Hold on. I don't know where
He lives in the
lives.
good part of Brooklyn, though.
Now, who is Webster?
I had never seen an episode of Webster, but I believe it's just an 80s sitcom where they had
Yeah.
a black dude who was a little person, and they were just like, okay.
You'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Look that up. And then DM Webster as well.
Because I like Golden Girls.
That's pretty good.
Guys, we've got fair or foul to get to. We've got some segments that we're going to have to hit Monday as we run out of time. But, Jeff, you're going to be covering the Cardinals, continuing with
Yep.
Scoops with Danny Mack.
They're coming for Webster.
Baseball season restarts Monday, apparently. Boy, Trav, are you on fire?
Let's just wait it out.
I don't know.
We
Hey,
should
my
say
ability's on fire. Hold on.
the traditional calculus in St. Louis. I'm just going to talk over the sirens. Is that baseball season starts on Flag Day? It is
Yeah.
Flag Day today. Today is Flag
Wow.
Day. But we're going to say baseball season starts Monday this year because it's not going great, and you still have the parade coming. So we're just going to go ahead and roll.
What place
with
are the Cardinals in? I haven't even
it.
looked.
Fourth? I think it's fourth.
Oh.
What's a
on
Cardinals?
Well,
I'm right there with you.
what's a rub-offs means?
I saw 3 different styles of shirt, by the way, outside Game 7 with that on it. 3 different ones. People were on it.
Absolutely perfect. Guys, big thanks to Tommy Bannister from Circa Properties for sponsoring the show. He can help you buy or sell a home in the St. Louis area. He is a lifelong St. Louisan, and he wants to get you all the best home possible. If you're looking to buy or sell in the St. Louis area, Tommy Bannister, Circa Properties, is your man. Huge thanks to Tommy and people like Pet One St. Louis West, as well as Getaway Carts, getawaycarts.com is the website. So thank you all for working with our sponsors.
There's a getaway cart now.
I know. Did you hear
Screeching
that?
out
We
of
had
there.
sound effects there. Guys, want to do some fair or foul? How do we feel?
Yes, sir.
Fair.
It's
All right,
now
how
time for Brooklyn's fair or foul.
At this defining moment, change has come to America.
People often ask me, what's fair or foul? Is it a segment? Is it a movement? Is it hope? I can't say for certain. Time will be a true test of its power. But I can say, fair or foul is now and forever for the people. Gather around the radio with your loved ones and hold on to your butts. It's now time for fair
We give it back to you, the people.
or foul.
Gardner, please investigate the Brannigan estate.
Oh, I am.
We need answers.
I am intrigued. And like I said, and Jeff is right. He wasn't making an argument. He was just simply laying out some thoughts.
I don't love the management.
To find the
And-
truth. I feel like you're hesitant, Chris, to go deeper into this story because you're afraid of what you're going to find.
I am. You're absolutely right, Travis. There are times like that where you question, do I need to know the truth? You know, is there a God? Is there whatever? Do you want to know the truth? Because what you find could change your life forever. Could change
True.
others' lives too. There's a responsibility with that. So it takes some time to. Problem is, I don't got a lot of time to make a decision on this. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, no.
There's a lot happening over there right
There
now.
really is. We asked about a Laura Branigan cover band. They're going to be popping up everywhere. Fair. However, only if they play Gloria for 24 hours straight at Broadway and Market. No breaks. Happy Parade Eve, boys. TT's Pink Eye.
Yeah.
Is tomorrow going to get out of hand, or is it just going to be Mardi
Oh,
Gras-ish?
yeah. I mean,
Stay
well,
out of the
yeah,
city.
but Mardi Gras is relatively out of hand, depending
Yeah.
on where you're at.
I think people
It's gonna be like
behave for
it's
the-
cold at Mardi Gras.
True. How about the weather snap that was perfect for whenever they want? It was like
Yeah.
70
I think it's
degrees.
supposed to rain all day tomorrow, which really sucks. But
Well, that could get
I'm
interesting.
not gonna bother anybody.
TT's Pink Eye has won.
Oh.
Fair or foul.
Oh,
Congratulations.
really?
TT's Pink Eye.
$10 to Buzz's Hawaiian
Well,
Grill.
there was one submission online
Oh, let's hear it.
from Ben Fredrickson of the Post-Dispatch. He likes to get involved with fair or foul, as you know, here recently, Travis. He says, fair. Name, Bran, again. So Bran, capital A, again, Again.
I like that, but the thing is that it's a little scandalogical
I don't get it.
because branding
Brand again.
No, I get it, but I don't understand that.
is the cover.
Okay.
Great show today, guys. Travis will continue his beef with Ben Fred because I don't think he liked it either.
I just didn't understand it.
It was really
I hate
simple.
Ben Fred. I'm going to punch him in the nuts
Maybe
when
I
I
just
see
need
him.
to see it.
Oh, you won't. You won't.
Tell
Dad.
Ben Fred I'm punching him in the nuts. It's coming.
Yeah,
I'll
you-
tell him when I see him.
I don't think he will be. Never mind. Guys, thanks to everyone
All
for
bark.
tuning in today.
All bark.
Is any of them coming up, by the way? Who's covering the Mets this weekend?
Derek's there.
Derek.
You didn't go to
Okay,
Foley's
tell Derek to
Wednesday
get on my
watch Game
DM and
7?
send your boy some tickets.
Yeah,
What?
that's not how that works.
Yeah, ask somebody to say, yeah, come on, y'all know Derek. Tell D Nasty to send me some tickets. I'm in New
Look,
York.
it's,
I'll
like,
holler
it's
at your boy.
$4.
Won't
Look
you
at
be
StubHub right now.
Hotel this
PAing?
weekend.
Who's going to see the Mets? Get on StubHub.
Seinfeld.
Oh,
He
you
goes
should
to
have.
Mets games.
You should go with Jerry Seinfeld.
You should just go up to
He
him and
actually
go,
invited Cedric the Entertainer last night, and I was like in the
Aw.
background going, "Ooh, can I go?"
Oh, yeah, is that in your head?
In my head, I
Yeah.
would never say something so stupid out loud.
It would be awesome if you accidentally it just popped
Just
out.
did.
Ooh,
I
can
feel like
go?
he might find it funny. He might think it was funny. What's the deal with this PA?
I'm not gonna test out new material in front of Jerry Seinfeld. I'll pass.
I can see that happening though.
That would be
Just-
good.
I wouldn't have been
just
able to
go,
resist
"Ooh,
myself.
Can I go?
It was so close, Gardner. You'd have been so proud of me. I was like, ah. If it wasn't for a friend giving me this opportunity to do the job, I probably would have put my neck out there.
It just would have ran right out of your mouth. You couldn't have even stopped it. Just,
Yeah,
Gardner,
if-
we gotta hurry up and wrap the show because at 11 o'clock, the Blues Chief Revenue Officer Steve Chapman and members of the National Park Service are available for the media to discuss the parade plans at Luther Eli Smith Square.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you gotta get
That's
over
got
there, Gardner.
Gardner all over it.
Somebody stole his scooter, so he's gonna have to find a ride.
Yeah.
I'll drive you down there.
Yeah.
Look forward to more coverage throughout the day.
I'll see what I can do. We got a lot to get to this weekend.
You're gonna bring down all the celebration by uncovering the manager's true intentions, aren't you?
If I come back in mum on Monday, it's because maybe I found out something that I don't know the world is ready for.
That's fair. Guys, that'll do it for today. We're back Monday live at 8 a.m. We'll see you then.
Have fun this weekend, Travis.
Peace.
Bye, Trev.